Good morning, friends. In this video, we are going to learn the basics of cloud computing. What is cloud computing? According to National Institute of Standards and Technology (NIST) of US, defines cloud computing as that it is a model for enabling ubiquitous means something which is present everywhere or which has omnipresence, we can say, convenient on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources, and these resources can be networks, servers, storage, applications, and other services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. So, in easy words, we can say that it is a paradigm of computing where the computing resources we just talked about here are provisioned as a utility to the consumer, and it can be released when it is required. So, essential characteristics of cloud computing. So, the very first characteristic of this paradigm is that the resources are available on demand and it is a self service. So, here a customer can unilaterally provision computing resources as needed automatically without requiring any human interaction with the service provider. Next, broad network access. So these capabilities or the resources are available over the network and are accessed through heterogeneous thin or thick line platforms, for example, mobile phones, tablets, laptops, and workstations. Then resource pooling. The computing resources of provider are pooled to serve multiple customers using a multi-tenant model. Now, multi-tenancy means a single instance of a resource can serve multiple customers, or we can say different physical and virtual resources are assigned dynamically and reassigned according to customers' demand. Next is measured service. Now, cloud system automatically control and optimize resource usage by providing a metering capability at some level of abstraction, definitely, that is appropriate to the type of service. That means what is the type of service we are going to get provision. It may be storage, processing, or the bandwidth, etc. That means resource usage can be monitored, controlled, and reported, providing transparency for both the customer and the provider. Rapid elasticity. It means capabilities can be elastically provisioned and released. That means when more resources are required, it can scale up, and when a resource is not being utilized, it can be released. So to the customer, the resource available for provisioning appear to be unlimited, and that can be provisioned in any quantity at any time. Cloud service models. Cloud computing is offered in three different service models, and every model satisfies a unique set of business requirements. And first of them is software as a service, then infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. Software as a service. This model offers software applications to the customer that are accessed over the web and not purchased and managed by your organization. Rather, these applications are running on a cloud infrastructure. And these applications are accessible from various client devices through either a thin client interface, such as a web browser, or through a thick client, such as an application program interface. Actually, thick clients are, which are also called heavy clients. These are full-featured systems and that are connected to a network. and thin clients are those which lack hard drives and other features. So the customer does not manage or control the underlying cloud infrastructure that is required to run that application, such as network resources, servers, operating systems, storage, or even individual application capabilities. Or we can say all the operational issues involved with keeping the applications up and running, that all has been taken care of by the service provider only, and it relieves your organization from the constant pressure of maintenance of the software application. Here in this model, the billing is typically based on factors such as number of users, usage time, amount of data stored, and number of transactions processed. An example of these service models are Google Spreadsheets and Google Documents that are quite popular nowadays. And this service model has the largest market share in cloud computing. Infrastructure as a service. This model offers net infrastructure resources for provisioning, such as storage facilities, networks, processing capabilities, and virtual private servers. In this service model, customers do not need to manage infrastructure. Rather, it is up to the provider to guarantee the contracted amount of resources and availability. And consumer can deploy and run arbitrary software of their choice on the provisioned infrastructure, and they are charged under as a pay as you go model, where the customer is billed by the factors such as how much storage they have used or the amount of processing power they have consumed over a certain time period. And the example of these service models are Amazon Web Services and FlexiScale. Platform as a service. This service model offers access to a cloud-based environment in which users can build and deliver applications without the need of installing them, working with IDEs, integrated development environments, which are often very expensive. And this service model provides programming languages, libraries, tools, and other services which are required to create and build an application. Additionally, user can often customize the features they want included with their subscription. That means user can have additional features if they want some with their subscription. The consumer does not manage or control the underlying cloud infrastructure, including a network, servers, operating systems, or storage, but has full control over the deployed applications. According to Gartner, this service model, platform as a service, has the smallest market share of the three service models. This diagram shows the scope and role of customer and cloud service provider in management of resources. So as we can see from here that in case of a software as a service model, all these resources, all these things are being managed by the provider only. Whereas in platform as a service model, the applications and its related data, it is being managed and controlled by the customer, whereas all the other resources are being managed by the provider. In infrastructure as a service model, all the infrastructure related issues are being handled and managed by the service provider, and the application data and the operating system, it is being controlled and used by the customer. Cloud deployment models or the type of clouds. So we have four type of clouds, or we can say that four cloud deployment models. So first of them is private cloud. So it is the cloud infrastructure which is solely used and operated by an organization, And the example of this private cloud is Windows Server Hyper-V. And then the community cloud. Here, the cloud infrastructure is shared by several organizations that are working towards a specific goal. And the example of community clouds are science clouds, media clouds, and even healthcare industry has an application of these community clouds. Then is the public cloud. Here, the cloud infrastructure is made available to the general public, as you have the Google documents and spreadsheets and all. Then hybrid cloud. Here the cloud infrastructure is a composition of two or more clouds like private, community or public. So hybrid cloud refers to a mixed computing environment that may be made up of on-premise infrastructure, private cloud services or a public cloud, such as we can have here the Amazon Web Services or the Microsoft Azure with orchestration among the various platforms. And there is one very important aspect of cloud bursting for load balancing between the clouds. The idea of cloud bursting is that if there is an application that normally runs in a private cloud or in a local computing environment, and if a situation arises where the application needs additional resources like computing power, storage, etc., so it can burst into the public cloud and use the additional resources there. So if your company is using a combination of public cloud, on-premises computing and private clouds, it means you have a hybrid cloud infrastructure. So in this table, we can simply distinguish between these four types of cloud models. Private cloud infrastructure is operated solely for an organization, as we discussed in the previous slide. It may be managed by the organization or a third party, and it may exist on premises or the off premise. The cloud infrastructure in case of community cloud is shared by several organizations that support and supports a specific community that has shared concerns regarding the mission, security requirements, policy, and compliance considerations. In case of hybrid cloud infrastructure, it is a composition of two or more clouds that remain unique entities but are bound together by standardized or proprietary technology that enables data and application portability. In case of public cloud, the cloud infrastructure is made available to the general public or a large industry group and is owned by an organization who is selling cloud services. Now, cloud and virtualization. Virtualization is a very important technique for enabling the cloud computing. So it is a technique which allows to share a single physical instance of a resource or an application among multiple customers and organizations. Or in other words, we can say virtualization is actually the creation of a virtual version of something such as a server, a desktop, a storage device, or an operating system, or it may be a network resource. So, and generally it is done by assigning a logical name to a physical storage and providing a pointer to that physical resource when demanded. Now, virtual workspace is an abstraction of an execution environment that can be made dynamically available to the customer by using well-defined protocols. And virtual machine is an abstraction of a physical host machine. Now, virtual machines. So, virtual machine technology allows multiple virtual machines to run on a single physical machine. And hypervisor is a component of the software that intercepts and emulates instructions from the VMs and that also manage is also responsible for management of these virtual machines. There are a number of advantages of using this paradigm, and here we can discuss a few of them. The first of all is lower computer cost. So, in this case, your laptop or PC does not need to have the processing power or hard disk space which is required by the traditional desktop software. Because when you are using web-based applications, your PC can be less expensive with a smaller hard disk, less memory, or even without a CD or DVD drive. You don't need to purchase very expensive hardware for your application, for your software. This all can be provisioned from the cloud. Improve performance. Computers in a cloud computing system boot and run faster because they have fewer programs and processes loaded into the memory. That means with few large programs in your system's memory, you will see better performance from your laptop or the PC. Then reduce software cost. So instead of purchasing expensive software applications, you can get most of what you need for free in a cloud. Many cloud applications today, such as Google Document Suites, are available that can be used instead of paying for similar commercial software. Instant software updates. Another advantage is of using cloud computing is that you are no longer faced with choosing between the obsolete software and high upgrade costs. Because when your application is web based, it is updated automatically, and that update is available the next time you log into the cloud. That means when you access the web-based application, you get the latest version without needing to pay or download an upgrade. Improved document format compatibility. So you don't have to worry about the documents you create on your machine being compatible with other users' applications or the operating systems. Since in cloud documents and applications, these are being shared with everyone, so there are less format incompatibilities. Unlimited storage capacity. Cloud computing offers virtually limitless storage. That means your computers, your laptop's current 1 terabyte hard drive is small, very small compared to the hundreds of petabytes available in the cloud. So cloud computing is generally have the virtually limitless storage. Increase data reliability. In case of traditional desktop computing, if a hard disk crashes, it destroys all your data. Whereas in a cloud, a computer crash or a system crash doesn't affect the storage of your data. So if your personal computer crashes, all your data is still out there in the cloud and which is still available, accessible rather. So that's why cloud computing is also called a data safe computing platform. Universal information access. Your documents stay in the cloud and you can access them whenever you have a computer and an internet connection. So we can say documents are instantly available from wherever you are. Latest version availability. The cloud always store the latest version of your document as long as you are connected and you are not in a danger of having an outdated version of your document. Easier group collaboration. It is an important advantage of cloud computing that multiple users or the multiple groups can collaborate easily on their projects, can share their documents, and they can collectively work on one task. So this becomes easier if you are working with the cloud. Now, device independence. So being on a cloud means that you are no longer tethered to a single computer or the network. And changes to the system, the computers, the application, or the documents follow you through the cloud. That means if you move to a portable device or to some other device, your applications and documents are still available. Now there are a few limitations of cloud computing. So first of all, first is it requires a constant internet connection. So we can say here that cloud computing is impossible if you cannot connect to the internet. Since you use the internet to connect to both your applications and documents, so if you don't have an internet connection, you cannot access anything, even your own documents. So it requires a constant internet connection. It doesn't work well with low speed connections. So similarly, a low speed internet connection makes cloud computing painful at best and often impossible. Because web-based applications generally require a lot of bandwidth to download, as do large documents. Features might be limited. So today many web-based applications simply are not as full-featured as their desktop-based application versions. For example, you can do a lot more with Microsoft PowerPoint than with Google Presentations web-based service. It can be slow. Even with a fast internet connection, web-based applications can sometimes be slower than accessing a similar uh, software program on your laptop or your PC. The reason for the same is that everything about the program, from the interface to the current document, has to be sent back and forth from your laptop to the computers in the cloud. So sometimes it can be slow also. Stored data might not be secured. So if you are using cloud computing, all your data is stored on the cloud, but the security of this data is questionable. And a lot of research, lot of work is being done in this direction to make the data on the cloud more secure. Stored data can be lost. So theoretically, if we talk theoretically, data stored in the cloud is safe and replicated across multiple machines. But there are the chances, and there may be the chances that your data goes missing because you don't have a physical or a local backup. Now, there are some general concerns with the clouds that each cloud system uses different protocols and different APIs. So, it may not be possible to run applications between cloud-based systems. For example, Amazon has created its own database system, means it is not using SQL. So it has its own database system and workflow systems. So your normal applications will have to be adapted to execute on these platforms. So means your applications need to be competent enough to work on these platforms. So this is all for now. Thank you.